Hey there, hi there, Libras, and welcome to your December tarot reading. Shout out to my new friend, Alyssa, who I just met yesterday and is a Libra. Hope you're watching this. All right, sending you lots of love and light. So I'm going to start off with the Crystal Visions Tarot by Jennifer Galasso. All right, I love this deck. It's so beautiful. It really speaks to me. I love the illustrations, and I just love the overall theme of like a fairy tale, um, butterflies and lotus flowers. So I really love the artistry. And this deck probably was somewhere around $5 on Temu. So definitely worth it. And I love the design on the back of the deck of cards. It's so pretty. It's like a beautiful iridescent pearl, pink, like more like a pink iridescent, with two cups, signifying like emotional connection. Uh, it could be romantic connection, depending how the energy comes across for you or how you interpret the reading. You could be focusing on a love, romantic relationship at this time. The holiday season does tend to bring out that more romantic energy that us romantics have. I'm a definitely romantic at heart, so I definitely tend to romanticize things a lot. But sometimes it is a positive thing. Other times it can be like something that reveals like hidden truths or hidden depths to mysteries and solving mysteries. I love good mystery. I think Libra is like solving mysteries and in the pursuit of justice is a very common theme. It might seem cliche, but I think it's like really is a huge part of like what makes a Libra so amazing. Just like solving problems and things like that. Really good. Libras are very good problem solvers. I have some Libra in my chart. I think I'm a Libra moon, but it could be. I think I definitely have Libra in my chart. So, or it could be Libra sun. I don't know. I haven't looked at my chart in a while, but I know it's there. All right, so let's see. Let's call on Spirit Source. All right, so I just actually pulled out my chart and it is moon. I do have the moon in Libra, okay? So, and my sun is in Capricorn, but it's like right on the border of Capricorn and Aquarius. But for those that have your moon in Libra, um, I'll just tell you what that means really quickly because I'm trying to like get more into astrology. I feel like I know like the basics, but I really like I'm more into the tarot readings. Moon in Libra definitely influences your emotional nature, social skills, and artistic talent. Okay. Um, Moon in Libra means charismatic, charming, adaptable, smart, elegant, fair, indecisive. That can be like more of the negative aspects, but that I definitely can get in my head a little bit. Needs balance and can be self-indulgent and depends on others. So they're, you know, but so depending if your moon is in Libra or if your sun is in Libra, those are some things. But I try not to focus on the negative. Okay. All right. So let's get into your reading. We've got the Knight of Cups. Ooh. So definitely getting some like some sort of Prince Charming type of energy, bringing you in a cup of some good cheer, some emotional support. I love how there's like a wishing, like this unicorn's horn is like has a crystal on top that's shining so brightly. And the moon is definitely illuminating this knight's journey. Okay. Now, when I think of a knight, I think of, someone who is like willing to go to battle for you, Libra. Okay. This could be masculine energy, someone who's very strong, very fierce, has that warrior protective energy about them. They could be just starting out, so they could have a little bit of that like newbie energy or that newness energy, that shiny newness energy, where it's like you're still not 100% sure if this, person has your back, but indicating here that they have a cup and they are in tune with the emotional side. Um, of love and life. It is a good indicator that they have some emotional intelligence, that they can be a sensitive type. Hopefully they're leaning more into the mature, emotionally mature type of energy that you want when you're looking for a partner. But this could also be something that you're working on within yourself, being a little bit more in tune with yourself emotionally, and also going to war for yourself, going to battle for yourself, or being able and willing to travel along that journey and that path toward finding more emotional fulfillment and love for yourself. Okay. Page of Cups. Oh, I think you found it. Yeah. For some reason, I feel like this knight is traveling to this page. Okay. So he knows she's sitting there, in the water with the lily pads. I call them lotus flowers, but you can also call them lily pads. And this woman, this is giving me like star energy. Because it's like that she is doing the magic with the working with the lotus flower, and there's like a crystal bowl that this flower is in. She could be working with like the water elements and like the spiritual essence of the lotus flower, which I feel like is all about like transformation and growth, becoming more mature and in tune and intuitive. And the moon in both of these pictures really like honestly screams out like high priestess energy, moon energy, divine feminine energy. So you really want someone who like understands you, understands women, understands that emotional aspect. It's just like it's a very close connected bond here, and there's a little dragonfly too in the corner, so that's really beautiful as well. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about the lotus flower here, because it is such a fascinating flower, that it grows like up through the water. um, So, and through like, it usually is in like a pond, right? And ponds are like known to be kind of like murky and muddy. And that can also be emotional things. Like sometimes you don't see what is really going on and it's too murky and muddy. And this lotus flower really represents purity, enlightenment. They're commonly associated with purity, inner strength, and tranquility. So there's definitely this pureness to this connection. Maybe this is your yin and your yang finding balance, your divine feminine, your divine masculine coming together and sort of creating out this balance, right? Libra, you're all about finding inner balance, inner tranquility. But its symbolism extends beyond that. Okay, so it isn't just. I'm reading this on symbolsage.com. Okay, so lotus flowers are beautiful flowers that are commonly associated with purity, inner strength, and tranquility. But its symbolism extends beyond that. The flower plays a symbolic role in various religions such as Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, probably saying it wrong, and Jainism. Given its deep symbolic meaning and connection to religion, the lotus flower is considered one of the most sacred plants. Here's a closer look at the lotus. The origins. Lotus flowers are symbolically depicted as early as ancient Egypt, where white and blue lotuses are more common. In Egypt, the flower was known as session and was associated with Egyptian gods because of the way in which the lotus emerged from the water, followed the movement of the sun, and then closed back up and returned into the water, only to repeat the process the next day. And the lotus was associated with the sun god Ra. Now I'm thinking of like, Egyptian energy. Like, I don't know if you ever seen Cleopatra. Um, she believed she was descendant. She was the embodiment of Isis. I think it was that. Was it that? I'm not sure. But it's rebirth and strength. Okay, so I don't. We don't need to get into like all the inner stuff of the lotus flower, but there's just like a brief little school lesson, I guess, on that, little summary on that. But page and all right, so the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups are very, very close. Obviously, the page comes before the Knight in the order of the tarot. But this is just, again, proving your attunement with yourself, proving your attunement with another person, if that's how this reading resonates with you. Okay, so we have the Queen of Cups here. Okay, so again, it's like huge, major divine feminine intervention, I feel like, is coming your way. It's like you're finally seeing yourself as you are, or as you want to be, or who you are becoming. Just the year is ending. And now you're moving closer and toward like a higher state of consciousness, a higher state of being. It's because you are. I love how this queen, she's wearing a beautiful purple gown. She's got this beautiful crown. She's got a scepter with a purple sort of magentic crystal ball. She sees things. She sees herself. She sees her future. She sees her growth. And having all of these like magical elements here, the unicorn with the beautiful crystal like unicorn horn and her scepter, and then the page has a crystal ball, like a crystal bowl, I feel like all these like elements are increasing your belief in yourself. Like you're starting to see the magic within you, the high priestess within you, the magician within you. Two cards that signify like beauty and growth and evolution and elevation through time and consciousness. So I actually happen to have, I think I have the magician card here somewhere. Yeah, and I think I have the high priestess card here too. So yeah, here it is. Okay, so the magician and the high priestess card, and the empress and the emperor card. I'll save those empress for later. But the magician and the high priestess card, okay, these are two. This is like a dynamic duo. Okay, this is a match up made in heaven, right? Like it made in the cosmos, okay, of the universe. You've got the high priestess, intuition, sacred knowledge, the subconscious, divine feminine, trust yourself, sensitivity, purity, high morals. That's what the lotus flower embodies. It's associated with water and the moon, okay? The cups are all about water, feelings, intuitiveness, emotions. Like, it's not really a sensory overload. It's more of just one natural flow of energy that is pairing you up with, again, romantic partner or interest, or within yourself, or both, depending how it resonates with you. But the important thing is that it's within you, and it's the energy that you follow and that you flow with, and it's like a constant flow of energy, okay, that you feel out. Now we have reversed: secrets, harm, hidden agenda, disconnect from intuition, withdrawn, silent, selfish, shallowness, ignorance, misunderstanding. Okay, those are all things that you don't want in a partner. Those are all things you don't want in your energy field. Okay, like you're gonna have to put up some barriers. You're going to have to put up some boundaries. You're going to have to put up some protective force field around your sacred connection. If you're trying to stay in like a monogamous relationship and you don't want anyone coming in and trying to like disrupt that and interfere with that, you're gonna have to create some sort of energy force field, and it might take a lot of like inner strength and inner wisdom, and almost feels like a force that you are forcing that energy out. Okay, and it can be very overpowering, but you want it to be powerful, but it also can feel you feeling depleted because it's like you're going up against another energy field, another battle, right? But I feel like you've already kind of overcome that, or you've already won that battle. I feel like you've already pushed that energy out, whatever it may be, someone interfering. That's why the Queen of Cups is like really important that it came out right after the Knight and the Page, because if you want to stay in this like romantic love story, rom-com sort of playful energy with your person, but someone else comes in that's like really like, whoa, this is, you're trying to interfere with my connection, right? The Queen of Cups is going to be like, no, right? So you have that energy about you. Now, the beginning of the projects and creative endeavors. So, new year, new project, new jobs, new endeavors, new career goals, promotions, starting off a new job in a new environment with a new title, with new project details, with new job requirements. So it's all a brand new time for you. The number two. Now, if you have some kind of question on your mind, the answer is maybe. Okay, but then the Magician comes in. And the Magician here, okay, is pairing up with you, okay? Upright, action, creation, manifestation, power, self-confidence, clarity, willpower, skill, creativity, okay? You are being creative. You have confidence. The Magician is backing you up. It's like, okay, if you're feeling like it's a maybe, then maybe, this is another maybe, it's time to call in the Magician, right, to help. And then number one, okay, the Magician, air, the sign Mercury, okay, the beginning of the projects and creative endeavors, okay, the moon and Mercury aligning together. Very interesting duo. Manipulation in the reversed. Okay, poor planning, untapped talents, insecure, lack of confidence, and narcissism. No one wants to date a narcissist. No one wants, a date someone that has no confidence. Right, that doesn't feel sure of themselves, and also someone who feels like jealous or intimidated by your success. Someone like that is not healthy to be around. You want someone who supports your career goals, supports your decisions when it comes to how you make your living and how you survive in the world. Like, we're not always given like every option, right? Sometimes we're given one or two or three options, and so we're gonna just go down the line and try out the different options, and hopefully one of them sticks, right? Especially if we're not, just like handed lots of opportunities. We have to like go and fight for these opportunities, fight for ourselves, fight for those we love. Okay, so the High Priestess and the Magician working together is really the perfect. You couldn't ask for a better duo. Okay, you've got the magic of the Magician, and you got the intuitiveness, which is like that psychic ability, clairvoyant, predicting the future type of energy from the High Priestess. Okay. All right, so let's see what comes out next after this Queen of Cups. All right, so we have here the Ace of Swords, okay? You could not ask for a better weapon of choice, Libra, when it comes to protecting yourself, protecting your relationships, protecting those you love and care for, okay? This is like the Libra, like this is your, this is your weapon of choice. This is what you choose to use, okay? When it comes to defending yourself, defending your own honor, you know. So, um, yeah, it's a beautiful energy, and it brings about clarity and understanding, okay? It brings about wisdom and truth, and cutting through the bullshit. And the butterflies surrounding it represent a metamorphosis, transformation. I got again. Emphasizing the theme of you know growth and enlightenment here, okay? Because Libra, if you think of yourself as, this beautiful goddess warrior, um, and this embodiment of someone who is a spiritual warrior who can fight against negative energies, this is what you use to do that with. You call upon source and spirit to guide you into battle, into fighting, into defending yourself. And we don't always want to be in that energy where we're constantly having to defend ourselves or fight for our truth. But I feel like as women that really does happen more than not. This could be you, like in a competitive work environment where you have to defend your space in that environment and your right to be there and make money for yourself and earn a living and survival, food, shelter. And I feel like you're really good at like seeing people for who they really are, and again, calling out people if they're misbehaving. But I think it's not like it's not like major, like in your face type of energy. That I feel like Libra is not you. I feel like it's more subtle than that. Again, with like the roses growing around the sword, and the wings on the sword, it's like you're taking flight here, you're growing here, you're expanding here, okay? You're no longer like stuck in this energy where you feel like you have to take some kind of like mediocre, like job or find some mediocre relationship or connection. You're looking for the real thing this time. You want the real deal. You want the perfect job. There's no such thing as the perfect job, but to you, what makes you feel good? What kind of job you like? And something you're really interested in. And the same with a relationship, the same with a person, because when we enter into relationships with people, we want them to like inspire us. We want them to bring out that more creative, artistic side to ourselves that we never knew existed. We want to metamorphosize. We want to transform. We want to be enlightened. If we don't feel inspired by the person we're with, then it doesn't really do anything. That's where that like reverse energy comes in. When you're stuck with a narcissist or you're stuck with someone who doesn't have a lot of confidence, you don't want to be constantly boosting somebody's ego, especially a narcissist, right? Who is like, it's all just manipulation and lies. No, and we want to align ourselves with someone who really understands us, and we can grow together and learn together. And the rose is that beautiful symbol of like, again, you're this beautiful rose in a garden. You want to be treated like that. You want to be treated like delicately and gently. Otherwise you're going to have your thorns. And if someone's not treating you right, then they're going to meet one of your thorns, right? So, and you also, don't want someone to constantly, be a thorn in your side either. I don't even know where that saying came up with, but it's just like a nuisance or annoying, right? Like, you want to be treated with respect and with love and with admiration and affection, and you want to be adored, okay? So, bringing in some interesting shifts here of the energy. We've got a lot of swords. Okay, we have the Five of Swords. This woman is stabbed in the back, and then this man I think he's the one who might have done the stabbing, or he could be someone who he's walking away from her and she's sad and she's in tears in a white dress. Okay, so there is that feel, the sense of like this purity about your heart and your soul. Okay, Libra, you have been hurt in the back, in the back. You have been hurt before. You have been betrayed and stabbed in the back before, maybe by an immature man who did not treat you right. Okay, you're not looking for that. You don't want that in your life anymore. Okay, you want to be treated right. And then we have the Page of Swords, Page of Cup, Page of Swords with the High Priestess. Okay, that's again signifying to me like you're over and done with it. Okay, if someone stabbed you in the back, betrayed you, hurt you deeply, you have grown and transformed, and you have you've already gone through a rebirth since then. I feel like this angel with her sword, it's like you've already saved yourself. You've already rescued yourself. Yeah, 10 of Swords. You have definitely been in a lot, like there's definitely been a history of you being like in a lot of bad relationships with a lot of bad guys. Okay. 10 of Swords. You know, this could also be family betrayal, a huge group of people, even in a job environment where you were bullied, where you were ostracized, where everyone was like faked you and it did something to your mental health. Swords can definitely represent mental health, and Eight of Swords is you feeling like blinded, like you have no choice, you know, because if it's your job and you need to make a living and pay your bills and keep a roof over your head, sometimes you might feel like you need to suffer through that job environment, just to, you know, stay alive, right? Just to keep yourself from being homeless and off the streets. And you're like, wow, I don't want that, you know? And all these ravens flying around, there's a strong theme of ravens with these swords. But the Ace of Swords comes out here before, early on. So I feel like you might remember a lot of these past hurts and traumas. Again, swords and these type of cards, 8 and 10, traumatic triggering experiences for you. Being around people who hurt you and betrayed you in the past. You know, blood loss here. This woman is on the floor, blood loss. She's holding a rose. You know, she just wants to be loved. She just wants to be treated right. She's not asking to be rescued or saved. Like, you can rescue and save yourself. You got the Ace of Swords. You are the Page of Swords. Very strong Libra energy, where Libra is like that angel of truth, that angel of like that savior energy, right? But it's not, I heard, you know, someone told me before, you know, like, you know, when I was trying to help out a Libra, you know, that like I was like they were trying to like diagnose me saying I had like a savior complex, and I was just like, a way to not be offensive. But the person I was helping, you know, they were also a Libra, right? And she was a family member, and I won't give away all the details of like how she's a family member and all that, but I knew that like in the moment I needed to step up and be the Ace of Swords for her. I needed to be the Page of Swords. You know, I needed to tap into that energy and just come in and swoop in and be like, I got you, right? And it wasn't because I was trying to like be a savior, right? What I'm not like that's just like an overstepping their boundaries, right? But it's because of this mental stuff, right? It's because when someone is hurt and you've been hurt yourself, you know, if you're an empathetic person, if you're a sympathetic person, if you have emotional attunement and emotional intelligence, you know that it's probably a good idea if you can step in to step in, right? And that's not because you're trying to like get clout, right? You're not posting on social media, look what I did. That's kind of weird. That's, rich elitists do that because they know they're fake. But you're just trying to move things in the right direction, fix what was wrong, what was made wrong in the first place, and that's what that Page of Swords energy is all about. Okay. So I don't think these cards are saying, "Oh no, be careful. This someone's about to break up with you, or you're about to get into a relationship with a narcissist." No, I think these are memories from your past, dreams and visions you've had maybe since childhood, where you're like, I know I was hurt in the past. I know, this work environment was toxic, or these people that I was around hurt me or mistreated me. I just wanted to be loved. I just wanted to feel, beautiful and adored and respected. And, the Page of Swords is like, just because those memories exist and just because those events happened doesn't take away from your power any less, doesn't empower you any less. In fact, it makes you even more of a spiritual warrior. It makes you more empowered. It makes you more powerful, more protected, because now you know the sides to look out for. Now you know when you're in that energy where it's like, whoa, this is some toxic negative energy, or maybe this energy is like too much for me. Maybe I need to walk away. Maybe I need to go in another room. Maybe I need to move into a new place. Maybe I need to go look for a new job. Maybe I need to break up with this person. It's sending you signals to your body. And that's what the Page of Cups swords want you to know. Because the Page of Swords is right in alignment with the Page of Cups. Okay? They come out like the Page of Swords comes out right under the Page of Cups. Okay, so that to me symbolizes that these two are working together. You want to be in tune with your emotions. You want to be able to just sit and relax and do your alchemy, your spiritual practices, your meditations. Just be totally chill vibes, good times. And then when you see that negative, toxic energy flowing towards you, you want to quickly get out your sword, get out your warrior ensemble here and your angel wings, all ready to go and be ready to fight and protect yourself. Okay, and you can and you will, because you've been trained. The universe gave you, these, you know, scenarios where, your family betrayed you, or your work environment treated you badly and toxic, or, a guy broke up with you, cheated on you. Five of Swords, there goes the cheater, right? Or, when I think of the Eight of Swords, I think of like, you feeling like you have to stay in a work environment because you need the money, but you also feel all these like crows. Like, I do think ravens and crows are like helping in this picture, but there can be, the swords are like trying to hold you down, and I feel like the ravens are trying to like release you. Okay, or the crows. All right, so it's, listen to your spirit guides, trust in your inner wisdom. Like, here's some birds here that are trying to protect her. Okay, so you wield that power within you. Okay, now we also have for you the Emperor and the Empress. Okay, so this is kind of like the mom and dad of the tarot deck. Okay, this is kind of like your two protectors here. That again, masculine, feminine energy coming in very strongly here. Okay, a very good, healthy balance of both. Okay, now the Emperor, upright, respect, leadership, stability, structure, rules, and power, authority, father figure, protection, control, discipline, focus, practicality. The answer, yes. The fire sign, the Aries sign. The number 4, organizational skills, reliability, and ability to work hard. All that just to me is like screams Libra energy. Okay, so maybe you have some Aries in your chart, or maybe your father is an Aries, or maybe an ancestor, or that energy is just coming in for you very strongly at this time. It could be a mentor, it could be an uncle, it could be an aunt, it could be anybody, but that just holds on to this strong, fierce energy that's like protector energy, because that's a masculine energy, right? But if you identify as female, okay, you can still tap into that energy. Okay. Just because you identify as female doesn't mean you can't be a protector. It doesn't mean you can't, you know what I'm saying? So you have to just open your mind to expanding on that consciousness a little bit more. Okay. And then we have reversed, domineering, controlling, lack of discipline, right, stubborn, tyrant, and reckless. That's what happens. That's what happens to heterosexual men when they were not raised right. No. But I don't think that's you, Libra. I think that's just maybe that is definitely the energy. You might have a toxic masculine work environment. You could have had toxic masculine partners in the past that were narcissists. So obviously you don't want to be around people like that are expressing that type of energy. And I know you're very wise. Libra are really very wise, intuitive creatures. So you have that within yourself, okay? And what else? I think that was everything on here. So that's your Aries, okay? Also think of like the magician, but in like physical form, right? That like, you know, that kind of energy where it's like, okay, you're seeing like someone who can take the magic of the spiritual realm and materialize it into like organization, right? Like I wish I did have a magic wand and I could just wave it and my room would like magically clean itself, but really I have to tap into that energy and I have to do it myself. Okay, so that's where that comes from. Now we have the high priestess with the empress. Okay, this is the abundance, nurturing, fertility, feminine, good, parenting, development, accomplishment, growth, evolution, action, the mother archetype, the empress, earth, the planet Venus. Okay, the planet Venus is all about love, right? It's the goddess of love, right? So is Aphrodite is love too, and so the planet Venus too. I think they're both similar. But excellent communication and creativity, someone who is generally optimistic, the answer, yes. So those maybes with the intuitive high priestess, those maybes with the magician, that was prepping you. That was preparing you. That was like, it wasn't trying to overwhelm you or overpower you or over control you or make you get lost, right, in the muddy murkiness, right? It was making you be like, maybe I can actually do this. Maybe I can grow through the mud. I can grow through the darkness and the murkiness and the shadowiness and the hardships of life. And I can transform and I can be this beautiful light, right? When I see a lotus flower, it just is like an embodiment of light and love, right? That's what I think of. So, and just all the beauty in the world, like through all the darkness and all the chaos and through all the negativity and all the badness of the world, this beautiful flower can grow. Okay. And same with a rose, right? So that is what I feel like Libra is happening for you. Okay. Now reversed, we have creative blocks, okay, selfish, impatient, dependent on others, inaction, lack of concentration, indecisive, overwhelmed, anxiety, and infidelity. Okay, these are things that you dealt with in your past relationships. Okay, if your person that you were partnering up with, like, maybe you need it, maybe you can be your own muse. Sometimes you have to be your own muse, right? But if you were partnered with somebody and they were blocking your creativity, that's a sign that they're not aligning with you. Okay. Maybe they were selfish. Maybe they were impatient. They were always dependent on others. They never took any actions to be more independent. They lack of concentration, all of that, overwhelmment, anxiety, infidelity. Okay. Those are all very negative things, right? Okay. The reversed is always like very negative context. But I think because you have 1, 2, 3, 4 here, okay, if you put them all in order, you got the Magician is card number 1, High Priestess is 2, Emperor is 3, and Emperor 4. If you put all these together, you can make something work for yourself. Okay, you can find inner peace, inner happiness, and love within yourself. You really did get like the best major arcanas coming out here for you at this time, Libra, especially when you're moving into the new year and you're preparing yourself for the holiday. Okay, so that's all going to help you grow. That's all going to help you build something here. You've got a solid foundation. You've got the magician taking, the spiritual messages, downloads. That's what this it's a candle lit on both sides, like a wand, sort of. It takes the spiritual and it brings it down to the material world. And the high priestess and her intuitiveness, okay? And, listening to her dreams, her visions, tapping into her clairvoyancy, her psychic abilities, and then putting it into a creative endeavor, putting it into a project, putting it into her work, teaming up with the Empress to really like suss out the situation, suss out the environment, suss out the relationship, and see if it's going to work or if it's not going to work. And the Emperor, again, it's like that protector, fierce protector energy. It's like, I know I can make something really magical here if I focus on my strengths and being protective and staying in that really strong, stable, structure, routine, rules. It's good to have structure. It's good to have stability, um, and that's like following like a routine and a schedule. Yes, you can shift things around, you can change it up here and there, but overall you're coming back to the foundation, you're coming back to the basics, and that's what the important thing is here. So I see a lot of love here, I see a lot of light, I see a lot of growth, I see a lot of spiritual enlightenment here, Libra. You're a very powerful, beautiful soul. I wish you the best Christmas and Happy New Year you can ever have. And my daughter Angel's about to say bye. Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Okay. Love and light always. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell for when I drop new videos. Check out your Libra playlist. And hit that thumbs up button. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.